Over this weekend, we saw this massive flood rip through central Texas. It has killed at least 82 people confirmed, many of them, 27, I believe, being children and camp counselors at a small all-girls Christian camp in a valley near the river that flooded. It is truly a terrible, horrific situation, and rescue efforts are still ongoing. What was the name of that one Coast Guard rescue swimmer? I'm forgetting his name. Scott something. We just talked about him the other day on PBD podcast, where this guy saved 165 people.
Savage.
American hero. It's like his first deployment with the Coast Guard. It jumps right in, saves 165 people. I'm so sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his last name. My computer just died, or I'd look it up. But American hero, and we salute him. But even as we are dealing with the consequences of this flood and still trying to save and identify people who have been lost to it, leftists couldn't help themselves. Leftists had to find a way to blame Trump. Scott Ruskin.
I can't let this slip because like a guy of that caliber, Scott Ruskin, people write it down because that's a red-blooded American.
Scout's like Captain America.
He does look like Captain America. Absolute badass. Yeah. 165 people saved. Good for him.
Yeah, amazing. And we wanted to promote that story up top because it's something good happening in this terrible situation.
We should have his picture here.
Yeah, we didn't think about that until last minute. But what we do have are the worst leftist takes on this entire situation.
All right.
Because the floodwaters were still rising while every Democrat and leftist and liberal you can imagine took to social media to post the most egregious content imaginable to talk about this is all Trump's fault, or even the worst ones, celebrating because it mostly affected white people. If we can roll this first clip here, this was one, yes, right here. So
this is
a pediatrician, Dr. Christina B. Propst, mockingly said that the residents of Kerr County, Texas, got what they voted for because MAGA denies climate change and stripped funding from FEMA. She has since been fired from her practice, and it should be noted that nothing the Trump administration has cut so far would have helped with the response to or the warning before this flood happened. So any claims that, Trump slashed flood response or, disabled the early warning systems, incorrect. So we have, this cold, heartless woman who takes care of children, by the way, like I said, pediatrician, is thinking that the kids who drowned get what they deserve because their parents may or may not have voted for Donald Trump.
To be fair, she said, may all visitors, children, right? And non-MAGA voters. So she wasn't including...
great.
Oh, man,
I'm sure that clarification really helps.
No, but she's still a POS, terrible person, but that's what it says.
Well,
What?
Whatever credit that's worth to her.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Absolutely
She's a
nothing.
piece of shit. I'm sorry.
Speaking of people who deserve no credit and actually are okay with children dying, Sadie Perkins, a former member of the Houston Food Insecurity Board, posted a video on TikTok trying to claim a double standard between the response to the girls at Camp Mystic and the children of families being deported. Let's roll that clip and hear her commentary. There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now. But you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a fuck. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada, yada, yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, da, 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 the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East goddamn Texas and to make a all-white enclave, exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all-white, whites-only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
Oh, that's vile.
Yeah, and this is a government official or former government official. They have since said she will not ever be reappointed to any of the boards she worked on. But she's trying to say, no shade of the kids, but, it's their fault for being at a whites-only. It's not a whites-only camp because it's 2025 and the notion of a whites-only anything is just insane because that doesn't exist. Even if people wanted it to exist, it couldn't legally be allowed to exist. But it's clearly not a whites-only camp. It just happens to be in a small Christian conservative rural Texas camp where, that's where you find the white people. That's one of the few places the white people are left. But she is trying to say that if you don't care about deportations, then, you're a hypocrite for wanting these girls to not die in a flood.
Just lies. Lies. I think America in 2025, if a group of 8 girls from anywhere, any color, any size, anywhere, a group of girls gets lost, it will get national attention. Still,
yeah, we're at the least racist time ever, and the most racist people are people like that. I mean, a lot of the time it's people that are I guess black that try to be more racial. I don't think it's a lot of them, but they try to muster up this fake racism stuff to I don't know what they're seeking necessarily. Maybe because it's conflict brings attention or whatever. But I think we're in the least racist time ever.
I mean, let's double down on that and roll this next clip. Vinnie played a little bit of it on PBD podcast the other day, but this is another woman. This is on TikTok.
This is another woman.
This is a completely different woman. Similar take, but she went much deeper on that point Brandon just brought up. Let's roll this clip as well.
I'm going to say it because y'all scary as fuck, and I don't give a damn. Them little girls, them people died because of racism, not politics. Boom, I said it. I don't give a fuck. And am I sad? No. Nope. Because more YT people will have to DIE in order for motherfuckers to what? CARE. I said what the fuck I said. I don't give a fuck, and minds are here with me. We voted the correct way. You reap what the fuck you sow. Just the night before the flash flood happened, y'all were okay with motherfuckers being stripped away from their motherfucking families and never seeing them again. People being deported. Y'all were okay with that. Be okay with not finding Sarah Lou. Be okay with not finding Billy. Be okay with never seeing them again. Keep that same energy because I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Because I've been reading the comments and the shit y'all be saying. Y'all didn't give a fuck when it was brown people. We sorry that it's white people now, but that's going to happen. This is going to be a repetitive cycle going to happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until y'all get tired. Racism cost y'all more than y'all thought. Racism wrote that line? Racism wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash. Yeah, racism wrote a check that your ass couldn't cash. And guess who's paying for it? Okay.
What's up with those piercings?
Trying to look like Xerxes from 300 with the
I feel a
metal
worse
shit
human
ring.
being after listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I bet like the vast majority of black people despise that kind of language and what she's saying. Like, I don't think normal people agree with that. It's an outlier, and she's trying to like make it seem like that's what everybody in her race thinks. And
Exactly.
I don't think that's true.
That's why I wanted to put these clips in there, because it shows that people fish for the attention and the outrage, and this is rage bait. But when people make videos like this, they're exposing how they really feel about it. So there is this movement of.
You think this is real?
I think she probably feels that way. I think she's probably very correct in expressing her feelings on it. She does not speak for larger groups. She keeps talking about we, as if like my community. No, that's just you, lady.
Yeah.
Because there are people across the Texas community, people from all over the country now have responded to the flood damage, and there's people
that were not with this.
Yeah, it's not like the rescue effort is whites only either. It's the country coming together as a whole, trying to rescue the people who have been lost. And it's not like you got rescuers walking around. It's like, oh, there's a stranded black person. I'm going to ignore you and wait until I can find a white guy.
Did some people I want name?
North Carolina.
With FEMA responding to the hurricane in North Carolina, people with American flags or Trump paraphernalia were passed over. But that's what happens.
Was it true?
Yeah.
Somebody got arrested for that or
like
fired.
I don't even know what's true anymore. All right, like I'm literally at the point I don't even know.
They want you to forget that because it shows how the previous administration handled these exact scenarios. But this whole attempt to politicize and racialize these tragedies, it's completely insane. But people like that exist.
I bet like if you go up to 1,000 black people and show them this video and say, "Do you agree with that?" What percent do you think says yes, I agree? I think it's like 1%.
Yeah.
Now, Brandon, if she wasn't clinically insane, all right, and she didn't have her piercings on her face, just saying.
Mid.
All
Yeah.
right. Which is part of why she's probably so angry and making videos like this in the first place.
Right, like that survey shows.
If you're pretty and well adjusted, you don't need to make racial hate videos on the internet.
Yeah, she should be like having children and like cooking dinner and stuff. Then she wouldn't be so upset.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wait, are you gonna do the fun part of this one though?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But we have one more egregious take, and this is the one that incensed me the most.
Connor,
this
the word
Destiny, aka Stephen Bunnell II.
Not this guy.
Fat liberal blue-haired cuck.
This is not a video.
Yeah,
and
decides that he's gonna make a couple offhanded, and he's trying to play them off as jokes now, but maybe if the kids weren't fit for swimming or weren't fit for camping near a river, if they couldn't swim, or I heard God killed those kids because they were using NordVPN to get around the Texas porn ban.
Oh my God.
And it's like, who
so
was
vile.
looking for Destiny's opinion on this in the first place? No one has ever needed Destiny to open his mouth on any subject whatsoever. But, remember the last time we brought him up on the show was him being caught up in a revenge porn lawsuit for leaking a girl's nudes to a bunch of people over Discord. Yeah, he actually tweeted that. And guess what? NordVPN doesn't actually sponsor him and might be pursuing legal action against him for implying
Good
that
for
they
them,
do.
and they have a great product. NordVPN, we don't talk this stupid, but we love sponsorships, and you guys have a great product.
Yeah.
We are not endorsing them until they pay us.
Yeah, so I hope they take him for everything he's worth. And I hope nothing but misery and misfortune befall Destiny for the remainder of his life.
He's due for it.
No, but this guy's gonna one day. This guy, he's gonna. What did you say? Like, write a check you can't cash,
or reap what you sow. And I mean, look at what he's sowing right now. Like, what's the like planting the seeds for? Yeah. He's planting the seeds for his own destruction.
I mean,
you think he's self-destructive?
It's coming from like 8 different directions here. Because, like I said, there's revenge porn and grooming allegations against him.
Imagine the wrong person here is just like the type of person who lost somebody in this. What are you willing to do if you lost somebody you care about most, and then you see this shit?
You seen him in person?
No.
He was here.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Okay, I saw him in person. The thing that I disliked the most, outside of everything, but the second thing I disliked the most, he has very short arms.
Can't trust people like that.
Unbelievably short arms. They're like he looks like a T-Rex.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
very
weird.
short arms. Very short arms.
Maybe he's an alien.
Incredibly weirdly bisexual, and may or may not have hooked up with a certain other political commentator.
I don't think that's true.
Nobody can verify that one, but
They all know each other. Like I know they all know each other.
Our
but
very
that's
own
not true.
Amy Dangerfield used to hang out with him. She knows him pretty
Oh
well.
wow, we're throwing them
not-
under the
it's not
bus.
good.
Has she said this
Yes,
publicly?
she has. And like, if you go over to Amy's channel, there's like stuff where she talks about it. Yeah.
Shame.
Oh, she hates him. And if you want to hear Amy hate on Destiny, check out Dangerous Conversations coming out later this week because we will have a whole episode going deep on that.
All right.
Pardon me.
Yeah, Destiny hate.
But changing tracks a little bit, we'll still focus on the Texas flood for now. But I want to turn our attention to a more serious topic. Now that we've gotten the outrage out of the way, the possibility exists that cloud seeding and weather modification may have played a role in this, or at least that is an allegation.
Yeah.
I am not trying to say one way or the other that is my opinion or the opinion of
It's mine.
Valuetainment and its people, but I'll open it up for commentary. But as is often the case in these situations, rumors are swirling about possible geoengineering and weather modification being responsible. This is a map of confirmed, active, open cloud seeding projects that are done over the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that the map actually lines up pretty well with some of the affected areas from the flood. Theories have emerged blaming a cloud seeding operation conducted by Rainmaker Technology Corp. On July 2nd, 2 days before the flood. The company flew a 20-minute mission southeast of the affected zone, but CEO Augustus Dorico said that these seeded clouds dissipated within hours. Here's him addressing that on Steve Bannon just the other day.
This looks like it could be bad. No need to continue to cloud seed.
Yeah, so Rainmaker acted proactively and suspended operations before the National Weather Service issued any warnings that would have constituted suspension criteria per the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations statutes. Now, that being said, I think that there ought to be more regulation on cloud seeding to ensure that it's done safely. I think that there should be way more transparency in the industry. And I'm actively trying to, both on X right now and on platforms like yours, and thank you again for having me, advocate for more regulation so that people do know what's going on and so that people can trust that it's being done safely.
Yeah,
But that,
we can
people,
cut that
obviously,
there.
you got the natural process.
You're not
there.
gonna say anything about that mullet.
I mean,
that's powerful.
As a CEO?
he's got powerful hair there, but like, if you're going to be the CEO of a company that, as we said, is experimenting with modifying and controlling the weather, you're going to have a distinctive look, or if you don't, you're really wasting an opportunity there.
Yeah.
He says that the company halted all operations that same day, July 2nd, in compliance with Texas regulations, and they released detailed flight logs to the public to try to downplay the fact that their cloud seeding might have had anything to do with this. Cloud seeding, for those of you watching at home who might not be familiar, is when a plane goes up and sprays a bunch of chemicals or compounds into a cloud to make rainstorms stronger or induce it to rain in areas where it's not. They can't create rainstorms, they can just enhance them and allegedly direct them, if you believe some of the more extreme geoengineering theories. But you guys, I want to go to the two of you because we have a hardcore weather modification geoengineering believer and a guy who doesn't buy it quite as much. So give me your thoughts on this. What role, if any, did weather modification play in the Texas flood?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it enhanced it because when you get like an abnormal amount of rain, like it obviously was like a historic amount of rain because you would have something similar to this if it wasn't. And you do need some degree of cloud seeding in some of these areas where it's like doesn't rain at all and you're trying to grow stuff. But it's really weird that like droughts exist in places where we are trying to grow agriculture and then we cloud seed in places that don't necessarily need more water. I don't know a ton about this one, but just the fact that a plane like was cloud seeding in that area and there was a historic amount of rain, I'd say yeah. I think like the most likely answer is yeah with that. And I think there's a reason that Florida banned cloud seeding because like we have no real comprehension of like how much they've been artificially impacting the weather patterns like anywhere in the last like 70 years, I guess, that they've been doing this for. So it's like not abundantly clear when they're doing this stuff. It's like, so I've never heard of Rainmaker before this. Like I know the government was just giving out contracts for these random companies to impact our weather that like affects millions of people that are down beneath. So yeah, I think that they probably did have an impact on this.
Roberto, what do you think?
I'm gonna disappoint you. Like I actually like I brought it up last show. I've been affected by this, and I there's no doubt in my mind because Connor, I grew up in the desert, and we had a flood, like literally desert, like middle of the desert. That's where I was living, and we had one flood in 2008, and then there was another recent one. So like you can't like I was there. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. They're very open there. Like, and it's funny because we saw this happening. They were open about what they did. They're open about cloud seeding there. It's not a secret. It's nothing because you have a king, which is the best government, you can have.
No, that's important to clarify, just so you know. We're not making up the concept of cloud seeding. Like, we just saw that guy runs a company that openly registers with the government to do it.
Rainmaker.
Dubai has openly talked about for years how they experiment with cloud seeding technology to help increase their rainfall.
It works. It's a foreign concept to some people. Some people think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, people think we're just talking out of our butts when we're discussing this
topic,
real thing.
This topic got popular here for like
last
year-ish, all right? And I thought... I was so convinced because I saw it. It was in the newspapers. I saw it working. I saw it getting out of hand and being under control. That I thought it was like a common thing everywhere. And then when people started talking about it, everyone was like, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." I'm like, "This is a proven science that it happens."
It's like 100 years old.
All right, it's not even necessarily a bad idea in theory. Of like, okay,
some spots need it.
Yeah, we have areas with no rain. Turns out by spraying a cloud with like silver iodine or whatever, you can make it rain. Okay, that sounds like a practical thing. The problem is, the ecological fallout of all these heavy metals now infusing into the water and everything. But
and you miscalibrate it sometimes.
This falls on my like ever expanding box of things we shouldn't fuck with. All right,
the weather,
like the weather, AI, Taco Tuesdays. Like there's a bunch of things you shouldn't just touch because they're just good the way they are. I think I don't know if I don't know if it's directly related to the Texas flooding, and I don't want to get into this conversation until everyone is safe. All right, because we can talk about this after everyone is safe and things are rebuilt or whatever. Because it's pointless. It's already happened. All right, let's focus the conversation on the victims and people that need help.
Of course.
And then we can talk about this like 6 months later when everyone's happily living in the ranch, all right? But I think this can get out of control real quick because people get ambitious.
Well, the most interesting thing is going to be to see if anything goes terribly wrong in Florida now that we've gotten rid of it. Because, like who knows if it's been impacting us in a good way, it's been keeping us safer, or if it's been impacting us in a bad way where it's making things more dangerous. So I think like the first 2 or 3 years of a sample size from Florida not doing it, it's going to be really interesting.
Now, Florida is a very bad sample place.
Why?
Like, because you have tales from, the pirates.
I think it's the best winning tales from the pirates. Excuse me?
Yeah, no. There's register of like how powerful the weather is in Florida, like the storms, the hurricanes, like dating back to the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, from the Spaniards that first landed here, that the weather here is unpredictable and it's super serious. So like it's not the best place to see if we see any changes because like the weather here is unpredictable since ever. You know what I mean?
The notion of
if it gets way worse, like maybe you're onto something.
Or way better.
Or way better, I will be worried too.
I think it might be the best one though because it's the most extreme weather place in the country. So like, why not go big with the first one?
So you think do you think things are gonna get better?
Yes, I think we're gonna have less hurricanes because I think, but you could create hurricanes in international waters that work the way towards Florida. So is that technically geoengineering in Florida? Maybe not. So there might be I just gave them a loophole.
Well, like most of the hurricanes, I'm not saying they're man-made. They're not created in the waters of Florida. They're
right. That's what I'm saying. So
they're way
international
further.
waters.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a loophole for those guys. Damn.
What do I mean a loophole? That's how they are created.
It's a loophole
all the time.
A loophole for the people who want to create the hurricanes. They can create them in international waters.
And that's how they're produced naturally. Also.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So thanks for giving the globalists more fun ideas about how to destroy us.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.